Alright folks, you've been asking for it for a long time, and I guess a lot of you may have seen some of this before, but maybe you just wanted an official video dedicated to it. So today, I'll be giving you my tiny office tour. This is the smallest office I've ever worked in, but I don't see it as a disadvantage, I see it as a challenge. I see it as a way to maximize the use of space we have, because as we've talked about in the past, this is not the permanent home of Tailosive. It's likely to change again, and again, and again. Turns out we're moving next month. No, the future has lots of possibilities for where we may end up and what kind of places I may end up working in. So basically, I saw this as a challenge to, if I can make the network run from this tiny room, then I can basically make it run from anywhere I want to. Perhaps we'll live inside a Tesla for the rest of our lives. No, stop telling yourself that, Drew. But mainly this room is designed for one person. As soon as a second person steps into the room, it'll immediately start to feel crowded. But usually that doesn't happen. Typically it's just me, and as long as it's just me, it's not terribly bad. It may look small, it may look a little cramped, but honestly, it has just enough space for exactly what I need to do. So, starting with the desk, this is where I spend most of my time. This is where the Tailosive network mostly happens. Of course, the PewDiePie chair. I've got multiple Qi chargers on the desk. This is the secondary iPhone. It's usually charging here on the Pixel stand, where my iPhone would be here. OnePlus 7 Pro is charging on the desk. I'm amazed that Face Unlock worked from that distance, by the way. And this is the first Qi charger I ever bought back when we tested out And this is the first Qi charger I ever bought back when we first got the iPhone 8. I still have it, still works fine. It was like 10 bucks when I bought it. And yeah, I usually dedicate it for a secondary phone. If my XS Max is charging here, I put the 8 Plus there. Or if my AirPods need a charge, which honestly is not that often, I drop it there. Boom, it's charging. Usually have my iPad around right there, using it for video editing or social media managing. Typically put YouTube videos or Discord on this monitor, texting apps, communicating with other people on this monitor, editing video on this monitor. So as trippy as a setup as it seems to have all these screens pointed at you, not to mention the TV, I actually do utilize all three monitors at the same time, believe it or not. And I like this monitor a lot because it supports 165 hertz, which I know I'm not playing games on here, so I don't get to really take full advantage of 165. But as I talked about on the tech channel, I am a refresh rate junkie. Do you think there's a lot of games that take advantage of the 90 hertz refresh rate on the OnePlus 7 Pro? Not really. I've downloaded some games on here. There's not a ton that take advantage of that, but you notice it, you know? You're scrolling, you're tapping around, navigating different things, and I do that on this monitor, which is how I am able to tell the difference between 60 hertz here and 165 hertz here. Frankly, I would exchange a 5K display for 165 hertz 1440p any day of the week. If Apple made an iMac Pro with a 1440p display, but it was 165 hertz, I would gladly take that option. I also have the Stream Deck down here, which I use during the gaming streams quite a bit. My CFast card adapter for when I record videos on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera over here, which also has my new lav mic that I got from Rode, which is helping the videos have a lot less echo, and a lot of people like the new sound of the lav mic. Some of you don't, which I don't know how to make everyone happy, but some people wanted the old Zoom microphone, which is used very little, and back here, just in the corner. I use it for unboxing videos or something like that, but not as much as I used to. But what's nice about having the lav mic plugged directly into the camera is I don't have to sync up audio anymore. When I record the video, the audio is already synced to it, so there's no CFast card and SD card to plug into the Mac and import. Everything's just automatically synced up. You only have to import one file opposed to two, which saves a microscopic amount of time, but I don't like using SD cards, so I don't mind it. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we have a 55-inch 4K Philips TV over here. Usually when we're playing a game on the Tailosive Gaming live streams, we're playing it on this TV, powered by the Xbox One X, along with an Elite controller, which I really enjoy using. Sting from The Hobbit, this was a graduation gift my dad gave me years ago, is still in the room. In fact, you can take the sword off like this, and this thing is legit metal. You could get some real damage in with this thing. We should start unboxings with this guy. And right beneath Sting is our old Mac Legacy collection, which has grown over the years. This is the first product I think I've ever unboxed. It was like a 2012 iMac that I got just after I graduated middle school, and these are old family computers and old school computers, old power books that my dad had when he was a teacher. He still is a teacher, but those are not usable anymore, clearly. And of course, the side of the office you all guys see, the iPhone box collection. This is just the tip of the iceberg, though. These were just the more recent iPhone boxes I had. A lot of people have been asking about this, so I'll finally give you a straight answer. How do you keep the iPhone boxes attached to the wall? Mystery revealed, it's a thumbtack. Those things literally cost a penny. I don't have the other end of the box in here. You just leave it there and boom, it stays. So I'll probably swap these out as new iPhones come out and I have new iPhone boxes to use. But I also have a window here, which is closed because it shows our front yard. So I don't want you all to see that for privacy reasons. But normally when I'm in here, that window's open, letting in lots of fresh air and natural light. And it's something I didn't have at the old office. So as small as this is, it's actually much more comfortable that I don't have moldy air breathing in. I have natural light coming in and natural airflow because at the old place, we didn't have natural light and we didn't have airflow. So whenever I was editing or doing a gaming stream or even recording a video, I was basically like being in a basement and all that air was very dead. It would smell very moldy as there were lots of leak issues. And yeah, to be honest with you, I really don't miss the old place, but we're not done with the tour yet. So over here, we have the movie review posters. Usually that studio light will come over here if I want to record a movie review video, and I'll stand right over there with the black magic pointing at me. Now, if you love cable management, you're gonna hate this next part because over here we have a giant rat's nest of cables, which I've tried to manage in the past. I've tried to clean it up and make it a bit more organized, but the thing is, I always end up unplugging everything and having to plug it into something else. Plus, most of you guys never see this part of the desk unless it's a Tailosive tech stream countdown, which I'm not gonna record a new one every time I change something in the office. I'm sorry. Me dancing for 5 minutes is one of the most hilarious parts of my job, but I'm not gonna keep doing it every single time something in the room moves. But there's constantly things I'm unplugging. Like down here, this is the Cam Link cable that I plug into the Blackmagic so that it can talk to the iMac Pro when I do my tech streams, which is usually from this angle. But then when I need to record a video, of course, I move the Blackmagic over to this angle, so I have to unplug the HDMI cable. Plus, there's things like the Blackmagic's power supply, so this little cable goes into the Blackmagic and then gives it power, so I don't have to worry about battery. And I'm either plugging it in over here when I do the tech streams, or I'm plugging it in over here when I'm recording a tech video. So it's always getting unplugged, plugged back in. So trying to maintain all these cables, which I'm constantly unplugging and plugging back in, would just really kind of slow down my workflow. So if you want everything to be squeaky clean and tidy, that's not me. That's not the kind of guy I am. But I try to make the stuff that does show up on camera when recording tech videos or doing live streams, I try to make that as clean as I possibly can and make that look legit so that the rest of the room can look like trash. Back here is probably part of the office you don't see very much. I had a few more movie review posters that couldn't really fit over here, so I just put them over here anyway. Obviously, the play button has made it over. There's a newspaper article that was written about me. The letter from Susan that's so personal. Down here, we have basically a bunch of old lights and stands. You know, in the old office, I had lots of different studio lights that were set up for different purposes, whether it be gaming streams or tech streams, or we had lots of different lights throughout the office. But now, obviously, since we only have one room to do everything in, we only need really one studio light for most of our stuff, plus the ceiling light. It wouldn't make sense to keep all the studio lights set up all the time. So I have a bunch more of those that I'm just holding on to if one day we move out of here and we need more studio lights. I did sell about 3 when we were moving out of the old place, but yeah, I still have more left over if we need them. Plus an old glide cam, which doesn't get much use anymore. Also, the old Tailosive T is stuffed back there. The one that was hung on the old blue wall right here. I actually wanted to hang that T on the soundproofing, but we talked to our landlord about hanging it against the wall there, and trying to screw through the soundproofing made it way more difficult, and he said it's not really safe. In fact, you can see where we tried to drill it in there. Kind of left a mark, but still. We're hanging on to that metal T because there may be someday where we can hang it up and put it somewhere where it would look cool. I thought it would look cool there, but it turns out it's not safe, and it probably wouldn't be very fixed to the wall. Could we take the time out of our day to cut an actual T out of the soundproofing, hang it through the soundproofing, and then have it suspended on the wall? Yeah, but no one's gonna really notice or care. Most of my angles are shot in this direction anyway, so yeah, it would take a lot of work and a lot of time, and we probably could hang the T here, but I don't really care. I'd rather wait till we have like a spare wall to hang it on. But speaking of T, and I'm not talking about James Charles, we have this giant Tesla flag, which is finally getting put to good use back here, that's covering up this giant kind of shelf metal thing, this piece of furniture, I don't even know what you call it, but open it up and you'll find all kinds of goodies. We got old iPad boxes, old iPads. This is like the Android collection we have. Most of these phones don't work very well. Old Blackmagic boxes, lots of old iPhone boxes that are not out on display. There's old hard drives, quack adapters, battery case boxes, our big iPhone collection, original iPhone, lots of iPhone 4s, iPhone 5, 5C, and an iPhone 6, I believe. Down here's the iPod collection, Nano, Shuffle, duffels, nano classic touch. Lots of old cases, including a battery case, old magic mice we don't need right now, but we hang on to because, you know, they're expensive and we feel bad about throwing them out. Old smart bulbs, old Apple TV boxes. These are all Watch Band boxes and Apple Watch boxes. Even some Google boxes. We still have the Pixel boxes and smart speakers down here. There's obviously our Wi-Fi, old MacBook boxes as well. And at the very, very bottom, you see the Google Home Max is still here. I know I've ranted about this lots of times, but that thing, I just can't find any functional use for it. I used to have it plugged in because we did have a few smart bulbs in the house that were connected to the Google Home system, and I would want to control the lights via the Home Max, but it would constantly drop connection from our Wi-Fi network, and it's been a problem now for like a year. Anytime I try to use that thing, anytime I'll call out to Google, it'll be like, sorry, I lost connection from the Wi-Fi. And the only way to fix it was to unplug it and plug it back in. There's been software updates available, but if the Wi-Fi keeps dropping, I'm not sure how it can update, so that thing is basically just a big useless brick. I'm very unable to find any useful feature for it, because if I want to listen to music and I want it to be loud and powerful, I'm of course the Apple sheep using the HomePod system. These are a stereo pair, they're connected to each other, and they get very, very loud obviously in a very tiny room like this. So yes, I do occasionally listen to music and I'll play it pretty loud on both of these. Calling out to Siri to control the smart bulbs in the room also is very, very easy. Whenever I want to do a stream or a tech video, I'll just call out to Siri and she turns on the lights, or she'll change the color of the smart bulb back there real easily. What else have you guys yet to see? Well, the couch is here. I'm actually debating moving this out because I don't sit on it often. There's usually not multiple people in here, and I could probably utilize the space better if we move this thing out, but haven't decided on that yet. Also, there's lots more soundproofing we haven't used, so if we ever go to another place and we need to hang out more soundproofing than what we currently have, we got plenty more. I think there's even more over there. Yep, more studio lighting umbrellas, kits like that. These are more bulbs in case bulbs go dead. We have extra. The iMac Pro box actually has a ton of old Apple boxes that aren't on the shelves over there, and that's storing a bunch of stuff, and I just kind of wedged it underneath the couch. And I think that covers it. All right, I think I've been over everything. I think I talked about all that's in here. To those who want to rob us, remember, we have a 24-hour cloud cam set up right here, so if any motion goes off when I'm not in here, I basically immediately know about it via push notification, even if I'm not in this part of the house. Like, I can be in the living room or I could be in our bedroom, and if any movement at all is detected in here, I instantly know about it. So there's also outdoor security cameras we have as well to catch the front yard and stuff like that. So we're pretty covered when it comes to security as well, making sure we've got everything in check, because obviously there's a lot of valuables in here we'd like to protect. And I think that wraps it up. I'm sure a lot of you hated this. I'm sure a lot of you cringed at my cable management, but hey, you don't have to work here. You don't have to live here. I showed you that one part. Now you never have to see it again. But yeah, basically what I realized when we were paying for that giant office last time was ultimately it was cool to have that much space to kind of scatter your equipment and scatter your furniture all over the office. At the end of the day though, all I really do is stand and record a tech video in one place, or I'm sitting at my desk editing, typing in the Discord, managing social media, and that's it really. So as long as I basically have a pretty decent background, as long as I have a place to stand and a place to sit, I can really run the network just with those things. So this is kind of pushing me to my limits. Even the attic was bigger than this, but I'm still able to produce the content I want to produce at a very efficient manner thanks to the gigabit Wi-Fi we have here. And since I don't have to run around a big office between gaming streams and tech streams, it makes things kind of simple to have all of your technology, all of your equipment, everything you need in one place, and trying to make the most of it. And also remember, the largest YouTuber on this platform, PewDiePie, works out of like an office and records with basically a webcam. It's not the highest quality, but hey, the size of your office, your production quality really doesn't matter as much as do people enjoy your content? Are you personally actually enjoyable and entertaining to watch? And that doesn't require a big office. You know, that doesn't require a huge set, because Felix is able to do it for an incredibly captivated audience that I'm a part of, for all of his bros out there. So why then should Talos have required much more in the first place? Anyways, thank you guys for watching this in-depth studio tour. Hope it was interesting. Hope it inspired you to kind of remap your office, or consider how you can decorate, or consider how you can make the best of the space you have. And I really appreciate you all for watching. Take care. Have a great day.